welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Are you someone that likes to read books? Or do you like to listen to books? Or are you someone who says, I used to love to read books, but I just can't find the time? Well, I'm here today to share with you my journey in 2023 as I kind of start to rejuvenate myself and my love for reading. I am currently an elementary reading teacher, and I always have been as long as I've been a teacher. I've always taught reading, and so that has been really exciting for me to be able to share my passion for reading with my students. And so here I am today to share that passion with you. Here on my channel, I usually talk about beauty, skincare, makeup, my no-buy, project pans, things like that. Sometimes I talk to you about my hobby or my lifestyle of keto, and I'll give you some tips and tricks on that. But I've really been toying around with sharing this rejuvenation that I have for my love for reading and finding time for myself at the end of the day to be able to do that. And I've been thinking about sharing that here on my channel with you. And recently, some of the creators that I like to watch, beauty creators that I like to watch, have sort of had the same idea that I have, where we love makeup, but we also love books and we love reading. So, and they've started to share that on their channel. And so I said, that's it. That's exactly what I've been wanting to do. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the month of March is going to be full of books because I'm going to spend some time catching you up. I'm going to start today and sharing with you all the books that I read in January. Next week, I'll share February, and then at the end of March, I'll share with you my March books. So let's go ahead and get started. I know that was kind of a long introduction. So in the month of January, I read 6 books. And when I say read, I'm also going to count audiobooks. And that was really kind of an idea that I got from Jessica Braun. I hadn't really explored the idea of audiobooks, and I didn't think I would be someone that liked audiobooks. But I find that being able to listen to a book in the car really does help me to be able to squeeze in an extra book. And so I have a book I listen to in the car, or if I take my dog for a walk, I'll put my headphones on, and then I have a physical book that I'm reading. And just so you know, all the physical books that I read are from the library. I really don't like to buy books because I don't want to have a lot of clutter. So I will be popping screenshots up of each book as I talk about them. So let's go ahead, and now we're really going to get started. The first book that I finished was a physical book that I got from the library, and it's called Autism and Your Teen by Blythe Grossberg. Something that I haven't really shared on my channel is that my daughter is high-functioning autistic, and she's a preteen. So I found this book to be really intriguing and interesting to be able to just give me some parenting tips as I navigate this world of teenager and an autistic person who really struggles with social situations. In middle school, things change. So I really did enjoy that. So if you're someone that's a teacher perhaps, or someone that has an autistic child or knows someone that's autistic in your family, I do recommend that book. It was very helpful to me. The first audiobook that I completed was a short story by Stephen King, and it was called The Man in the Black Suit. This was just it was Stephen King. It was dark and creepy and scary, and thank goodness it was quick because I was a little frightened. And it follows a boy who gets approached by this man in the black suit, who is giving some threatening claims, and it was really a deep kind of book. I gave that a 3 stars just because if you do like that kind of like gruesome, scary horror kind of book, it was a good short story to listen to. The third book that I completed was a physical book that I got from the library, and it's called The Green Glass House by Kate Milford. And this book takes place in a like a hotel that is kind of offset on a mountain in a really, really snowy area. So the only way to get to it is by train, or you have to walk up a really steep hill. And so it follows this family and a boy, and I forgot his name. The boy is the main character in the story. And so it follows this family as these travelers come to their hotel when they were expecting it was going to be Christmas break. And I really got sort of like John Wick vibes from this. This hotel that they stay at is sort of a safe place for criminals, like soft criminals, thieves and things like that, not murderers, but kind of like John Wick, where they all have that safe place that they go to, and they are not allowed to do any business while they are there. So, but this book is certainly a lot less intense as John Wick. So it follows the story of this boy as he is working during what's supposed to be his Christmas break, and there's all these couple of these mysteries that keep coming up, and he has to solve them with his friend. So I really enjoyed this book. I did give it 3 stars. It seemed like it was a little longer than it really needed to be, but I really did enjoy that book and the mysteries that were involved. And it wasn't really like a murder mystery, it was just mysteries. So that was kind of cool. Puzzles almost that these 2 kids had to kind of work together to solve. The 4th book that I read in the month of January was an audio book called The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads, and I will definitely link my Goodreads below so that if you want to follow me and take a look at my want to read, you can certainly do that. Okay, so The Dead Romantics follows an editor, a book editor, and as she is kind of preparing for her father's funeral, and her father had something pretty cool in common, and that they could see ghosts, they could talk to ghosts, they could interact with ghosts. And so it follows the journey of the main character and her family as they are preparing for her father's funeral. And the really cool part about it is her father owned and operated a funeral home. So there were ghosts to be had all over the place. And so I really liked this book. It was, again, another kind of mystery book, but not a murder book. So I really liked that one. And something I will say right now is, and I didn't tell you this, is I love murder mysteries. That is what I love to read. So this year, I'm really trying to branch out into other genres and learn some other things that I might like to read. So I like some of these books that I picked in January because they are mysteries. They are things that my brain needs to be thinking about and picking up clues to solve and things, but it's not a murder mystery. And again, I'm not opposed to that. I'm just trying to make myself branch out into other things. Okay, so there was another book that I listened to. This was an audiobook called Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. And this is a murder mystery, and I gave it 5 stars. Again, this is my niche. I love this genre. And so Lock Every Door follows an apartment sitter and her journey of there's something really creepy happening in the building that she is apartment sitting in, and people are going missing, and she's trying to figure out what in the world is going on. This book had a really, really interesting twist towards the end of the book, and it had and I don't want to give it away, but the twist really does kind of speak to societal roles and the discrepancy within certain things that people have access to. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to ruin it for you. But this was a really good book. I loved listening to this book for sure, and I'm definitely going to be reading more of Riley Sager's books or listening to them. Okay, the last book that I finished was a physical book that I had, and I gave this book a 2. And I will say that I didn't actually technically read the whole entire thing because I just couldn't make myself read it. And it was called We Lie Here by Rachel Housel Hall. And for me, again, this is my taste and my experience and my preference. I could not get into this book. I could not get into the characters. I couldn't attach to the characters. This book follows a TV producer who has to go back home to help prepare for her mom and dad's wedding anniversary. It's like a 50, it's not probably not 50, but it's one of the big wedding anniversaries. So she's throwing her family a really big party. Her and her mom do not get along at all. And so that's causing a lot of problems and chaos there. There's also this other mysterious family member that comes into the picture and is giving some very cryptic messages to this main character. And then that lady ends up dead. So the main character, TV producer, is trying to like find out what happened to the lady, and all these other creepy things keep happening, and it sounds really good. But I don't know if it was just a slow kind of book, or quite possibly, not to overshare too much about myself, but the main character's mom, the relationship that they have together, very much kind of resembled the relationship that I had with my grandmother who raised me. They did not get along. The woman is not very mothering or nurturing to her. And so I think that me personally, I had a really hard time trying to read this book because it hit a little too close to home for me, and so that also could be it. So I gave that book a 2. I was not able to read the whole entire thing. I read about 100 pages of it, maybe 150. I may have gotten to halfway, and then I kind of skipped towards the end so that I could see how it all ended up. And in the end, I'm glad that I decided to just skim through. So that is the long and the short of that. So thank you so much for listening to my video. If you are someone that liked any of these books and you are interested in hearing more about what I've read, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to try to check out my Goodreads link so that you can follow along, and you might get a sneak peek into the books that I read in February. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!